How do you build a crypto influencer marketing strategy and just work with crypto influencers in general? In this interview, we have Crypto Wendy O, a well respected thought leader and influencer in the space that helps people get educated about different projects that are out there. She's going to break down some tips and tricks for project creators and business owners on how to work with influencers and how to develop their own social media marketing strategy to get exposure to your project. If you're interested in learning more about how you can work with different crypto influencers, visit our website, crowdcreate.us/crypto influencer. Hey everyone, we have a special guest on the Crowdcreate Insight series. Her name is Crypto Wendy O, and she was a guest at our last mastermind. And the reason we're having this conversation is that we asked these CEOs and founders of various blockchain and crypto startups, what is the best way to get exposure to your project? And the number one channel was influencers. And so we have Wendy here that's going to educate you on how to build a crypto marketing strategy working with influencers. And yeah, take it away, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for having me. I am very, very excited to talk about social media marketing, including influencers, because that is my get down. Not only am I an influencer, yes, I don't care for that word too much, but it is what it is and it pays the bills. But I also help manage social media marketing campaigns for a lot of different companies. And outside of that, I do a little bit of business development. I help them really create organic content and to kind of promote a positive brand image and also focus on education. One thing that gets overlooked a lot in crypto is general population. Most people in the world, especially in the United States, are not very, very rich people. And we have to make sure and to keep that in mind when we are pitching products or when we're talking about some of this complex stuff to include everyone. Because at the end of the day, you want to obtain as many customers and clients as possible. And I think it's important to include everyone, especially with crypto.
Thanks, Wendy. And you've been in the industry for quite some time. As a business owner, what are some of the top questions that they ask you before working with, say, an influencer or even social marketing strategy like yourself?
Well, a lot of times people want to see results, which is great and it is fantastic because results are important. But I try to focus on building a positive brand image and making it sustainable. Because let's face it, if you hire an influencer for a month or for a week of promotion, you're not going to get the type of results you want. A lot of companies think that just because somebody has like 80,000 followers, they can put something out, they're going to see instant market movement, or they're going to see this great turnover. And yes, that does work, and it generally works best via YouTube. However, consistent marketing works a lot better than just a one shot. And the reason why is people they kind of want to live with that experience with you, and they want to see that you're actively using the product or that you're actively supporting the product, and they want to know why. And also too, sometimes it's good to not always talk about the positive aspects of a particular project or company, but to kind of focus on things that are needing to improve and to show your audience that these companies are willing to actively improve. Another very important thing is being organic. There's a lot of different influencers that use bots. There's a lot of companies that use bots, and that is something that myself over at Beyond Associates that we stay away from. Obviously, you're not going to get the results you want right away with the impressions and sometimes the clicks because they have bots that are able to do all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to promote organic and healthy growth. And you can't do that with bots because it really just kind of throws the algorithm off. And two, we want real people using your product or service and, talking about it to their friends.
Awesome. That's great. Wendy, specifically about the organic aspect, because I myself as a user, you can truly know when an influencer is talking about a product because it was paid or sponsored, or because they genuinely love it and use it.
Let me talk about that really quick. So sponsored content does get a lot of heat. However, myself as an influencer, I get approached by so many different projects per week. They want me to talk about their project. They want me to get excited about it. And I just don't have the resources because I do a lot of things myself. I don't have the resources to look at every single project. And when I do decide to work with a project, I have somebody that does the best that they can, vetting the code, taking a look at different things. But there's nothing wrong with sponsored content. And one of the things that we need to normalize in crypto and the blockchain space is the use of sponsored content. Just as long as the influencer or the promoter is disclosing it, and is in compliance, obviously, with the different laws and regulations in their region, I think sponsored content is great, because you might be able to capture an influencer or someone talking about your project that might not have talked about it before. And it's always really cool. Like, my favorite thing is when I get to actually work with a company or a client or project that I use and that I like, and and I'm incentivized to do so. It makes for great content. My content is always anytime it's sponsored, it is always disclosed. But I think that we do need to normalize sponsored content, because at the end of the day, when we're looking at different ways to go ahead and market crypto projects, you can use Google sometimes. I want to say Facebook has allowed you to maybe not go ahead advertise there, but it's hard to advertise in a lot of different outlets. And right now, social media is the way to go. Reason being, a lot of people don't watch TV, they don't watch cable. Taking ads out are expensive on that aspect, and you're not going to get the turnover that you want. And with CV 2019 on the market, it's hard to do in-person events. So social media marketing is the way to go, and using influencers to go ahead and do so. And just as long as it is disclosed, I don't see anything wrong with it.
That's great, Wendy. If you can elaborate further on sponsored content. So if a crypto project wants to work with you, what is the best way for them to contact you or any other influencer and set up a sponsored, content campaign that's a win-win for both the company and also for yourself as a creator?
So one of the things that I like to do is I have people send to email me. And the reason why I want them to email me, because it shows that they can actually read directions, because I have, like, in my bio, send me an email, and even on Telegram or different, on all my different social media outlets, like, make sure to send me an email. And then from there, I'll go ahead and, I kind of check and make sure, did they send me their LinkedIn? Did they send me the project links? Did they send some relevant information? And those are things that are very, very important to me, because I want to be able to go ahead and check these things out and make sure that they're legitimate, and make sure I can get into the website. Obviously, sandbox that, make sure I'm not clicking on anything funky. But what generally what happens is somebody will email me. They'll say, hey, we're looking for X, Y, and Z. I will let them know the different services that I offer, and that I do also provide connections with PR companies. I've got attorneys in my network. I've got memers in my network. Memers are a great, great resource for your brand. I know it kind of sounds silly, but hire memers, pay them well. You can utilize that meme or that little meme video that they've made and use it time and time again. It makes for great, great content. I've got a network of them as well. And I just kind of let them know the different services that I offer, the way that I run my brand. And, I can connect them with other influencers that are in my market or in my network as well as any other, connections they may need. So that's generally how I work. And then if I don't like a project, or, sometimes I can't take them all on because there's things that I do not like. I'm very strict, and I'm very, very strict with my, the people that I take on, that I have to disclose, because that's important for me and my audience as well.
That's awesome. Thanks, Wendy. So in terms of, you elaborated on memers. So are there any other tips or tricks that a business or crypto project should know about in getting exposure in this time?
Yeah, so I can't give all of my secrets, because I do charge for consultations. But memers are a great way to kind of represent your brand. And the reason being is crypto is kind of a meme in itself. I mean, we're talking about intangible magic internet money that we're able to trade, we're able to use for payment. It's kind of a very niche community so far. I do believe more and more people will get excited and will get involved, and I'm happy about it. But memes are a great way, even if it's like, and memes can be tasteful too. It's really kind of depends what you want to display. But the community, especially on Twitter, likes to see that you can poke a little fun at yourself, or just, be silly and whatnot. And then also too, TikTok is a great route to go ahead and post these memes. And the great thing with memes is after, you've commissioned somebody to go ahead and create something for you, and they give you rights to go ahead and use it for as long as you want to. You can use them over and over and over and over again. And everybody loves a good laugh.
That's great. So I guess, what are some of the top reasons why projects, businesses are working with crypto influencers and doing social media today, other than user adoption? But
Well, they want to get exposure for their brand, which is amazing, and I'm totally here for it. So that's one of the reasons why companies want to work with social media with social media influencers, which I think is fantastic. We've seen that with the beauty industry on Instagram, and we're seeing it now on TikTok as well and YouTube. And we all have our audiences, we all have our networks. I like to think of my audience as my network, and kind of like my family in a way. And I like to talk to them about different projects. I focus on educational stuff, and I think it's I think using influencers to kind of talk about your product, whether it's paid or not, is a great way to reach a different audience. One of the things we focus on my channel, it doesn't matter what type of project it is we always focus on, doing your own research and understanding what the project does before investing in it or buying into it, and joining their communities as well. I really like my audience to go ahead and join these different project communities that they're interested in, because you can kind of get a feel if it's something that works for you. I mean, if you get along with the community, you guys have the same point of views, there's going to be opportunities for growth, as not only with your portfolios, but also with your network too. It's always a great way to go ahead and expand your network by joining a crypto projects community. And I think influencers are a great way to go ahead and I don't want to say push that onto their audiences, but just give them that option. Like, hey, did you know this project does X, Y, and Z? And it's also great for education too, because you might have heard about a project and heard something bad about it, but then if you maybe listen to my show and you hear what I have to say or get my opinion based on something that a project might have done wrong, or a different launch that they had, or product or service, it might change your opinion on it. And it's good to kind of keep an open mind and get other people's opinions on things before you decide to do something on your own.
Thanks, Wendy. Getting into the nitty gritty of working with crypto influencers, what does a win-win engagement look like in terms of, is it a long-term sponsorship across all of your content? Is it a one-time video? Is it, being organic? And just what does a working relationship look like for any businesses out there that have not worked with crypto influencers before?
So my personal opinion, it works the best when it's a long-term commitment. And the reason why is you want to be able to, when you're doing this one-off stuff, you might get good results. Like, let's say the person's got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you get a lot of signups, and then after that, you're going to stop getting signups and you're going to stop getting revenue because you just did a one-off with this person. But it's nice to have an open relationship with them. I really like to have people put on a retainer for a couple months, whether it be 3 months or 6 months or a year. It's a really good partnership, and it's a good way to build a relationship, and you're going to get better results that way. And also too, if you have somebody on retainer for that long, they're going to be interested in using your product to go ahead and show their audience, like, hey, I'm using this product, I earned this much, or this is what I did, this helped me do this, and to consistently provide constant updates. And as far as the content goes, I generally will ask projects like, what are 2 or 3 things that you really want me to focus on fundamentally? And then I'll kind of incorporate it with things that I'm excited about with the project, because I think it gives a good mix. So the client is getting the information out that they want, but you're also able to put in your 2 cents into it, or 2 sats, and really just get other people excited about it, or at least expose other people to it. And that's why longer term partnerships work the best, because it just shows it shows legitimacy of projects too, because we're talking about crypto projects. Sometimes they vanish like that. But if you can build a long-term partnership with somebody, I think that it's safe to say that your brand is going to be represented in a positive aspect.
What are good questions that businesses could ask influencers to make sure it is a good fit and they are a true user of the product, they love it, they use it? What are those questions?
So generally when I take a client on, it's for like a specific, I like to set specific terms. Like, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's going to cost this much. And I can give you these are going to be the results that you're going to get. However, sometimes with organic marketing or being put on a retainer, you might not get those results right away. Because organic marketing is different than planned out marketing. So organic marketing is a great way to go ahead and move forward. When you put somebody on a retainer, like, we're looking for, just exposure to the project, we're going to pay you this much, feel free to talk about it whenever you want or whenever it fits. That is a great way to go ahead and do so, because there's an incentive for the person not only to talk about the project, but they're going to be utilizing it and talking to their audience about it. And they get to pick and choose what resonates with them, because we know as influencers, we know our audiences a lot better than the brand does. And like me personally, I'm a little bit different than a lot of other influencers because how I grew up. And I know the type of audience that needs to pay attention to different crypto projects. And I like to really talk about those projects to my audience. So it's a good fit to let the influencer sometimes to be a little bit organic with it. Is when you're pushing content out and when you're like, hey, talk about this, and we want the price of the coin to go up. It's like, that's not really what influencers are here for. We're here to talk about the project, talk about the pros and the cons, and talk about how you're working on fixing things or making things better for the average user. So organic content, to me personally, it just goes over better, and it's better for both parties long term. If you're looking for short-term engagement, that's fantastic, but you're not going to see longer term results. And I believe that all crypto projects and blockchain projects, if they're serious about doing well in crypto, they need to kind of look at the long end game and not the short end game.
That's great, Wendy. Yeah, any other tips that businesses should avoid when choosing the right influencer? And I love your long-term approach. And I know that there are people out there trying to just shill the next project, and some influencers have gotten a bad name because of that reason. And so, yeah, anything else that you'd like to share?
Yes, when you're reaching out, first and foremost, have somebody on your marketing team, or hire me, or hire somebody that has been doing this for a while. Don't just cold call and reach out to influencers sometimes and say, hey, well, you want to promote this project? We'll pay X, Y, and Z. Try to get to know them a little bit. Maybe set up a call with them and talk to them. Maybe send them let's say you have a app. Maybe send them some coins or tokens to go ahead and test this app out. Maybe schedule a call with them to show the rundown, and then see if they're excited about, see if they're excited about the project that way. Because I get people that cold call, and I'm just like, I want to talk to you a little bit. I want to understand what the project does. I want to understand the importance of it. And there's other influencers that don't like to be cold called as well. So it's important to have an experienced marketing team that specializes in crypto or blockchain influencer marketing, because if you don't have somebody that is aware how to do that, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
Got it. Well, thanks, Wendy. Is there anything else that we're missing that the audience needs to know for these project creators?
Yes. I think that focusing on customer service is probably the most important aspect of your company. You have to do it. You have to focus on customer service. We've seen some big companies in the space, I'm not going to say who it is, that consistently go down anytime there's a big Bitcoin volatile move. Having a responsive customer service team is going to be key to keeping clients, to keeping people excited and involved in your project. If you do not have a strong customer service team that can go ahead and explain things to people, that can answer questions 24/7, 365, your project might not make it. So in addition to influencer marketing, please consider having a department or a person focusing on client retention and customer service. And if you have good customer service, your client retention will sustain. And I know this because I worked in healthcare for 7 years, and that was my main focus.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Wendy. What's the best way for people to contact you and follow you and stay in touch?
Best way to contact me is to head over to my Twitter profile. I've got my link tree, everything in the bio, and send me an email that way. And also know, you guys, I will not be emailing you. I will not be DMing you. I generally wait for a client to contact me first. But could also head over to my website, cryptowindio.com. It's got all of my socials there. You can always go ahead and double check those as well. But either my Twitter, my YouTube, my TikTok, my website, everything is at CryptoWindio.
Awesome. Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. I hope you enjoyed that interview. If you would like to work with different crypto influencers in the space, please visit our website, crowdcreate.us/crypto influencer. Please subscribe and attend our next Crowdcreate Mastermind series, where we bring together some of the top thought leaders, CEOs, investors to help you get ahead, whether you're looking to invest or looking to get exposure to your project. We are Crowdcreate. Thanks, everyone, and see you on the next interview.